Hey folks, welcome back to Game Garbage, where we take a look at games, chat about the gaming news in the industry, and of course, stream for fun. Today we're talking about if PlayStation actually has actual DRM. There's some debate about this. Some people say things are working fine and everything. But I found a really good video with SpawnWave, and he checked it pretty good. Now, just before this, he actually took the battery out, the little teeny battery behind the faceplate, out to make sure that, that things are going to be as objectively as possible. And yeah, he did a pretty good job, and that's later in the video. I will also link all of the videos we're going to see today in the description if you want to watch them fully. But really just trying to get to the meat of the video, so here we go.
Again, because I fit into that 30-day window at this point. So everything looks good there. We do now need to break the licensing and kind of simulate being out of that 30-day window. In order to do that, we got to pull the CMOS battery. As I mentioned, they made this pretty easy, so I can kind of like show and tell style this thing with our little CMOS battery door. And with one Phillips head screw, the battery comes right up, and that should now have reset our licenses. So now I just need to turn the system on, leave it disconnected from the internet, and we'll see if we can load up any of those newer games. All right, back to the dashboard. The time you can see is all messed up. It's supposed to be just after 4 p.m. Eastern, and it thinks it's 7 o'clock. Yeah, you can see it's defaulted back to 2011, 12/31/2011, 7:01 p.m., which if I did connect to the internet, it would fix the date, the time, any of that. But with that in mind, let's see what happens here when we try to fire up Saint Slayer. And there you go. Can't use this content. Can't connect to the server. To verify your license, wait a while and then try again. Okay, so Saint Slayer does not work. Vampire Crawlers, same deal. Can't use this content. Can't connect to the server to verify your license. Okay, wait a while and try again. With that in mind, Crimson Desert, again, picked that up when once it came out, more than a month ago now. And we picked that guy. Yeah, looks like that one fires up no problem. Digital game. The whole idea is that this situation that's going on right now with the license check is not being retroactively applied. So any of your current digital games should not have this issue popping up. We can see offline with CMOS reset, the whole thing. The license is not broken for Crimson Desert. Okay, so let's go back, and I would like to check, if I could, would like to check Pragmata, although I do have a little lock symbol on that guy. I do want to check Pragmata real quick to make sure. That one seems to load up fine as well. So as far as I can see right this second, those new games are affected, but any of the ones I've had already purchased, or a physical game, even one more recent like Pragmata, is not affected. But there is something I wanted to try, as this was also brought up. I want to see what happens if I go in and I fix the time manually. All right, because in some cases, licenses, especially if maybe they did something here, would still maybe need to see that it is like current year or at least somewhat within proximity of, okay, yeah, it's around the time that this game released. Well, I should be able to get, somewhat close, maybe not exact in terms of timing, but I should be able to get, let's see, we're 4. Okay. So I have now fixed the date manually. You can see everything looks good there. So let's go back and we'll try to fire up, let's see, Saint Slayer. Still same thing. Okay. Need to verify the license. Okay. So let's go to the same thing there. Yep. And then even though I see that lock symbol, by the way, on Crimson Desert, that is, that's also still loading up. So this is kind of the situation that we're seeing right now, is that it at least from what I'm gathering right now with this test, yeah, there is some kind of check-in period, and I guess 30 days is being brought up, but there is certainly something happening here with digital purchases made a la carte that you would have on your account that you supposedly own that still need to be checked in for a server, even if it's full single player or what have you, that was not previously in effect, I guess, even last month.
So there we have it, with just that actual test right there, making sure to try to cover all the bases. And yeah, we do have DRM on our digital purchases. That sucks. Something else I want to bring up is people are referring this to the Don Matrick thing that we had with the Xbox One, and this was actually changed very quickly after launch with the Xbox One. But yeah, the whole thing was that, allow your games to play offline for up to 24 hours on your primary console, or 1 hour if they were logged onto a separate console accessing their library of titles. So yeah, basically that DRM was absolutely insane. At least PlayStation has 30 days, but this is actually all changed now, right? Because yeah, they actually reversed this to a degree, but there was still some DRM left. Well, in 2022, Xbox completely reversed this. This is, I hope I say this right, Hikikomori Media, and yeah, I will link this video down as well if you wish. And yeah, it looks like Xbox's DRM is actually fixed, and I'll have my own as well at the end of this.
Series X, let's see what happens. It installed the full game with no errors whatsoever, no configurations needed. It just runs. Alright, so I'm convinced Xbox One branded games will work completely offline, no configurations needed from the Series X at this point. But what about Series X branded games like Judgment? In my previous test, I was able to install it completely offline, no updates, and it just ran from the disk, at least the 1.0 version. Well, let's try it again. Okay, so it still works. Good, so I can play Series X games offline. But I'm still not convinced. Let's try something else. How about Deadly Premonition for the Xbox 360, a backwards compatible game? Let's pop it in and... oh, I kind of expected this to happen, but I guess that's alright because this is a 360 game and backwards compatibility is sort of a bonus. I never expected it to be natively compatible with the Series X, so I guess you're gonna have to connect online if you want to play Deadly Premonition or any other 360 backwards compatible game. Same also applies for OG Xbox games. You're gonna have to connect online to download the backwards compatible version. You can't just run it off the disc. Sorry. Hypothetically speaking, let's say we're in the far future and Microsoft's shutting down the Xbox Series X, Xbox One servers, and you rush out there and you download.
So yeah, that's pretty nice, actually. So yeah, it's not perfect. You still can't necessarily run stuff off the disk, but pretty much all of the backwards compatibility titles for Xbox are actually available on the store, the Series X store. And that will continue to go into Helix, and so all of those backwards compatibility games are going to be available. But yeah, I wanted to show my own videos. So yeah, your physical discs may not work with the backwards compatibility check that is needed, but if you buy it off the store, it does work. So I'll have one that's a disc, I'll have another one that's a backwards compatibility digital game, and then a digital current title. Here are my videos.
I have a physical disc here. I'm not connected to the internet. Also, as you can see with the menu, none of the other features actually work. So let's try this one. So this one works. We'll try an old Star Wars game. This one I bought digitally. That one works. And then this one is also digital, new copy. Yeah, newer game. This game's actually really fun, by the way. If you enjoy, like, old boomer shooters, they're blast. So this one works too. And the thing that's great is that pretty much I haven't been able to find a game yet. Not to say that they don't exist, but I haven't been able to find a game yet that that doesn't work, right? And yeah, they fixed their DRM in 2022, and some think that's just Xbox One games, but no, it's also Series X games and backwards compatibility. There is one caveat to this, that if you do have, of course, Game Pass, you don't actually own those games, digital or disc. And also games that don't have all of the data on the disc are also not going to work, like Modern Warfare 2. It's only got like 300 megabytes on the disc, so that's not all going to work. So you're going to have to like download it probably through that. So yeah, there's some caveats, but like, and of course Game Pass stuff isn't going to work, but overall it works pretty good.
So as you get to see, like the DRM still works without offline. I don't have any notification of any type of licensing issue or agreement. And yeah, you do have to have the initial setup of your account and have an online check for that, of course. But yeah, once you have that installed on your Xbox, it should basically work pretty much as long as it already knows that you own those games. And after that point, you should be able to play them after that, of course, until they change it again. And I'm not saying they won't, because they're another big company. So yeah, they will probably do some more DRM stuff lately. But yeah, that's definitely a win for Xbox, and that's kind of nice. And I wish PlayStation, like Nintendo, would do the same thing, because the reason why I bring all this up is that we are slowly just losing less and less ownership of our games as we're buying them as products. And I really don't agree with that, because that's not customer friendly. And yeah, these big companies, including Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo, they really just see the player base as consumers, not actual customers. Now with Asha Sharma, we've been getting some nice stuff, but there still needs to be some work to be done. But yeah, in my view, why is PlayStation going this way? They don't need to. We already know what happened with Xbox One and Don Matrick and how that set up the deterioration of where Xbox is today. And it's kind of insane to actually be seeing that. And then too with Nintendo, they just seem to be going the wrong way. And at least physical is still seeming to be okay for Nintendo and also for PlayStation so far, but who's to say that they're not going to adjust any of that later? And same with Xbox, to reverse some of this later with Project Helix, or even maybe if there's another gen after that. So it's just kind of insane. And with Steam, I got to account this, people are already accepting of Steam, as it has been for quite a long time. But yeah, you don't actually own any of your games. You basically need to be hooked up and connected online. But there is a storefront for PC called GOG, and they actually have a list of titles where you actually get DRM-free games. There's over 100 titles in there, and they're still working on actually building all of that, which is great, because the creator and founder agrees with us that we don't like DRM stuff like this. Now, I certainly agree that companies need to have some form of digital rights management, okay, against piracy or whatever, right? Because they still need to be able to sell their product in a fair market. But then when it's gone this far, it doesn't feel fair to the customer at all. And for people that see privacy or piracy as an option, I can't necessarily disagree with them, or wanting to emulate or whatever. I can't disagree with that either, because we're getting to a point where we're not really owning anything in our world. And so physical media is making a comeback, and I think it should, because and if enough of us do that, it will come back. And if you say no, if you withhold your wallet, that's how you get these companies to change. This is why some of the changes have happened with Xbox in the first place. And this is why, too, PlayStation, even with PlayStation 5 Gen, has also reversed some of their stuff that they wanted to do, like implementing, making a PSN account basically for PC to play Helldivers, too. So they reversed that as well. And then Nintendo will do the same thing. They all will. Apple and Google and just all of them. They will change if we withhold our money, folks. So, and then, too, to have discussions like this where we can show that ownership is actually a thing. Because I don't necessarily believe that, own nothing and you will be happy. I can't agree with that. I don't agree with that. But for those that don't know any better, maybe that's just kind of what they're shooting for. So continue to talk about with the younger generations. If you have children, talk with them about this type of stuff. Because, yeah, this is also getting into our cars, getting into our TVs, getting into anything with any type of tech at all. and even just trying to just like buy a house or own property is just really out of reach for a lot of people. So yeah, there's all of these kind of levels of DRM that seem to be out there, if you want to term it that way. But anyway, what do you guys think? I'm not overly happy with this, even though I don't own a PlayStation 5. I think it is disgusting. No, I don't think exclusivity either should come back. I think players should have as much choice and optionality as they can. And that's ultimately what's best for the consumer, and that's what I want. So with that, folks, we'll see you guys on the next one.
A, avoid negative sources, people, places, things, and bad habits. B, believe in yourself. C, consider things from every angle. D, don't give up and don't give in. Don't let a damn thing get you down. E, enjoy life today. Yesterday is gone and tomorrow never comes. F, family and friends are hidden treasures. Talk to them and enjoy their riches. G, give more than you plan to give each day. H, hang on to your dream. I, ignore the bullshit. J, just do it. K, keep on trying no matter how hard it may seem. It will get easier. L, love yourself first and most, love God always. M, make it happen. N, never let them see you sweat. O, open your eyes to see everything around you. P, practice make perfect. Q, quitters never win and winners never quit. R, read, learn, study about everything important in your life. S, stop procrastinating. T, take control of your own destiny. U, understand yourself first so that you can better understand others. V, visualize it. W, want it more than anything. X, you already marked your spot in the world. Y, you are unique, wall, God's creation, no one can replace you. Z, zero in on your target and go for it.